How many times have you heard the term pay yourself first, pay yourself first? But at the end of the day, many of us don't understand that. I'm going to talk about three different ways that we can pay ourselves what? First. Back in a minute. Morning, good morning. This is Jan from New York City. Channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. I truly love helping people keep some more of their own hard-earned money. Could that be you? Have you ever heard of the expression? Well, you have to pay yourself first. That's right. That's right. That is very important. And it's basically taking X number of dollars or as much as you can every single month and making sure that you pay you first. Now, I'm not talking about the religious aspect of things. That is a separate issue. So it is a given that through faith, and I stand on it, that people do tithe. I do agree with that. But getting into the financial aspect of it, the financial aspect separately, okay, is that to pay yourself first, to honor the money that you have been blessed with. Pay yourself first, but whether you take out a certain percentage in terms of yourself or as much as you can, and you meet all your other obligations. You know the rule with money, okay? We've gone over this several times, and I could give you the specifics at another date. But here is another way to pay yourself first. You know, a lot of people trade convenience for cash. What? What does that mean? Yeah. They're donating their money to an invisible cause called convenience. But people don't look at it that way. Many times people do not look at it that way. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong inherently with having certain things done in a more convenient manner. Sometimes, for example, sometimes it's cheaper to buy, let's say, a bag of store-bought cookies for $1 in the dollar store as opposed to putting a same or similar type of cookie together that might cost you $3 or $4. For that dollar, you're paying for the convenience of cookies already made. Certain things in life are a trade-off. Certain times it's actually cheaper to make different type of cookies with the ingredients that you have at home, as opposed to going to the gourmet section of a store and spending lots and lots of money on these silly, frilly, extra frilly type of food, type of cookies like that. This is just my opinion. So a lot of people trade convenience, but that doesn't mean you cannot give yourself permission, okay, to make your life more conveniently. How? And at the end of the day, it ends up paying you. One way is to have food that is made ahead of time. People are most vulnerable when they are tired. People are most vulnerable to make that call for takeout. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong in on occasion, and I mean it on occasion. That is, if your budget can fit it and you stay living below your means, because that's always the end goal, to live below your means so that you can pay yourself first and do all the honorable things that we really need to do. So let's just say that you don't mind forfeiting an afternoon on a quiet day during that particular week and just doing like a lot of food prepping. That doesn't even necessarily mean you're food cooking. Food prepping, meal prepping, having your preps together so that during the week you kind of sort of know already your basic meal plan, and all you're doing is throwing the components of the prepped food together. That's all it takes, is maybe a little bit of time. And what is the end reward? The end reward is that you didn't pay for a tip. You are not waiting for an hour and a half sometimes to get your food. That is really frustrating. Did you ever come home hungry and tired and you figured, I'm hungry right now, so I'm going to pick up that phone and get my stuff, and within 10 minutes, it's going to get there? Well, that doesn't always happen. And then you're waiting and waiting and waiting. You could have made yourself something, and sometimes it ends up that you did slap a sandwich together in between because you were so hungry. And then the food that you paid the arm and the leg for, including the tip, because of so-called convenience, which didn't turn out to be too convenient after all, and you spent all that extra money, which could have gone to so many other uses. Okay. This is what I'm saying. This is another form of paying yourself first, another form of doing that. Because after all, when we work for ourselves or for others, there should be some sort of, well, payoff at the end of the day. So by being the CEO of your kitchen, that is definitely another way of paying yourself first. Next, another method to paying yourself first is when you consider all costs for whatever decision that you're going to make. I do things with great intention. Now, I know that might sound like, oh my gosh, that sounds like so much work. No, 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 no. I don't dwell on it, but I do consider things before I agree to do something. If something is going to cost me more money, let's say in time, effort, energy, and gas, I will ask myself, is there another method to arrive at the same thing? Is there a less expensive way? Is there a way to not need transportation costs? Is there a way I could handle this online on my computer or phone? Is there a way that I could reschedule something and it ends up being much cheaper to get to that place, let's say during a non-rush hour way, as opposed to people getting stuck in traffic and spending a ton of money on gas? All of this adds up. Timing is certainly everything. And taking that extra minute, to me, to plan something, like, let's say I have, like I said, a spur of the moment decision, spur of the moment idea, not plan yet. It's a spur of the moment plan, temporary thought. I'll caution myself first before I jump right in. I'll say, wait a minute, does this make the most sense to do right now? Maybe yes, maybe no. Even when it comes to making a video, right now we're approaching the holiday season, right? If I make a video and talk about hanging out on the beach for the 4th of July in November, a few days before Thanksgiving, where's the relevance of that video? It's nice to think about, but has nothing to do with what's going on concurrently. So I like to make sound decisions. I'll take that extra minute ahead of time. These are simple ways that ultimately we pay ourselves back first. Another way that we do, I've thrown in a bonus, is by keeping track of our spending habits. Now, a lot of people think, oh, that's so much work, keeping track. But at the end of the day, ask yourself, isn't it worth it that you want to continue to pay yourself, increase your bank account, decrease your stress because you know you're building up a bit of security, whether it's through, let's say, just an emergency fund, for example, fully funded emergency fund. Got to get started somewhere. I'm going to talk about that, in the future upload. But I'm thinking to myself, there are so many ways to pay ourselves first, not only by taking a specific amount of money out and putting it to the side at the beginning of the month. Also, with food, that's another way, like I mentioned before, like the fat cat and the skinny chicken. You shouldn't have a fat cat and skinny chicken time of the month. It should be one even keel. It should be like that bird that sings the first week of the month, the bird that sings in the second week of the month, the bird that sings in the third week of the month, the fourth week of the month, the bird is still singing, and there's no extremity in any way. Why? Because you took that moment to what? plan ahead. So these are subtle ways, I'm just saying it, to pay yourself first. And that means less stress. Not thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to make it to the end of the month with meals? You plan ahead. You plan ahead. You stockpile. This is why I say every little thing that we do all adds up. To dismiss those little steps is a big mistake. Don't dismiss those small steps. All right, I hope I helped at least one person with this video tonight because that's my goal. If I help at least one person every single day, that means I will have helped at least 365 people in any given calendar year. All right, everybody, have an amazing, fantastic day. Food for thought. Take good care and don't forget, pay God first, if you will, with tithing and pay yourself. Have a great day.